Then we go to organic systems. Organic systems has to do with the organizational structure of movements. Movements that go spontaneous and exponential, they have a very decentralized form. Power and function are distributed outwards. Every agent has got the capacity to reproduce the whole. You will find that movements that change the world tend to have a vibe of the movement side, the beginning side of the equation, what I call a transformational vision for the world. They believe their message and that their job is to deliver the message. The structure of a network would be another factor in living systems and organic systems. A starfish, if you cut a leg off a starfish, it grows another leg. The piece that you cut off grows into a whole new starfish. Chop it into 10 pieces, you've got 10 new starfish. In other words, a starfish has a structure that any segment of it, if it was removed from the main segment, has got the capacity to reproduce the whole segment, the whole thing out of it again. And I think there's the metaphor for what movements are like. It's a metaphor that makes sense of movements that say every believer is a church planter, every church a church planting church. That is, everyone has got everything in them to get the job done. That God has designed us in a certain way, that each of us carry the potential of ecclesia. There's a movement in you and me. In potential, it needs to be developed out of me yet. But there's movement in every one of us. In multiplication movements, if something goes wrong, it's self-disciplining. That is, eventually it might affect 2 or 3 cells around it in terms of churches that each might have planted, but then sooner or later the whole body kind of clears. And your body does this all the time with cancerous cells. Interestingly, in the West, where we've got massive centralized systems, are we free from heresy? And you look around and think, oh, I don't think so. You know, with all our control systems, all our seminaries, all our kind of headquarters, all the kind of ordination ceremonies, all the stuff we seek to control, we're far more heretical. Centralized structures are more vulnerable to heresy than decentralized structures. A centralized structure attracts people who like power and often people who are wrong, and it only magnifies the influence throughout the system, because what happens at the top is affected right throughout the system. And so having all the seminaries in the world and everything, you know, that the West has got has not kept us free from being heretical, and very heretical at times. It's the vibe of a movement, structure of a network, spread like viruses. It's a pay-it-forward movement. And the mathematics is simple, that if all we did was win 3 people to Jesus in a lifetime by discipling them into the kingdom and keep on discipling them afterwards, and all we require of them is to win 3 others in turn, you know, to love 3 people into the kingdom of God, and keep discipling them afterwards, and they do pay it forward all the way down the line. Literally in America, you know, if the base group was 40 people committing to do that, and you gave it something like 25 iterations, you would have pretty much covered the population of America and beyond. 37 years for the entire world. You begin with the end in mind, you know. We plant a movement, don't plant a church. And so multiplication must be factored right into the beginning of the equation. Spread like viruses, right? So even if we just did that, drop everything else we do, and just start a discipling movement in a pay-it-forward style, you pretty much get it done. Get her done, as you say here in Texas, get her done. Yeah?